Can you hear me,
Hi.
Sandra?
Yeah, I
Hi.
can hear you. Hi,
Is my
Rasmi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well and to the whole organization.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's wait for Shabnam.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. So are you excited?
Yes, very excited. Very
Okay,
excited to be here. Very excited to throw my insight.
great.
Yes.
We are also excited to hear what you guys have to,
Good to
talk.
know.
Yeah.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
Hi, Shabnam.
Hi guys. Hi. Am I
Hi.
Hi.
audible?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are audible. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you both as well.
Thank
To you as
you.
well.
Okay, so guys, we'll start. We'll start our live. Okay, so I'll start with introducing myself. So I'm Sandra from Orange Sky here to host our first live of 2022, which is titled "Let's See Light in Our Life," where we are gonna shed some light on the topic of mental health and sustainable development, which is like very vague and very important topic to talk about. So yeah, this event is an Orange Square initiative promoting the VONG movement. So the VONG basically stands for Voice of New Generation, and the name itself is self-explanatory, as in what by this movement we are trying to do and the impacts we are aiming to create, right? So to go a little detail into it, VONG movement is about it's designed to bolster the voices of our youths, and we are Wongers, myself and my teammates, we call ourselves the Wongers, who encourage the youth community of Wong. So they are called the Wongsters to, develop well-founded opinions based on provided prerequisite knowledge about possible solutions to global issues that have a darker impact on our Mother Earth and towards the Sustainable Development Goals, which basically known as the SDGs laid by the UN. United Nations. So we also work as a medium for amplifying the opinions and untamed voices of the new generation to the civil society and the policymakers. So with that said, let's now get introduced to our honorable guest. Both are very students, and like I've already mentioned, today we are going to discuss on the topic mental health and sustainable development. So who more than a psychology student themselves to talk on mental health, right? Yeah. So with that said, the I'll get into the speaker's introduction. So Rashmi Rafi, she's a budding psychologist pursuing her final year in BSc Psychology. She has interest in the field of sleep and neuropsychology, and she's an ardent debater with multiple awards and essay and content writer, occasional photographer, a marathon runner, basketball player, ombre and silhouette painter, swimmer, and a coach maker, and she's also the NSS secretary of her college. She has emceed in various events for her school and college. And then Shabnam, she's a budding psychologist pursuing her final year in BSc psychology. So understanding human behavior and promoting good health, good mental health is a goal she strives to achieve. And she's a voracious reader who loves getting a little lost in fantasy. She loves writing. She's an ardent debater with multiple awards in it. She serves the most prestigious place of her college, the library. So she's the library secretary of her college. She's been working to ignite the passion for reading, writing, along with changing perceptions and misconceptions about libraries among young minds. So that's all about our speakers. So with that said, guys, the platform is all yours. So I'll just like to start on the discussion with the most important question: what is mental health? Because we all know physical health, right? But most of the time we think we know what is mental health, but certainly we don't. So what is mental health?
Great. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Very happy. to be here again. Okay, so what is mental health? What is health? I'd like to start off by asking our beautiful host for today, Sandra, how is your health? Perhaps on a rating scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your health?
Mental health, you mean?
Health, just health.
Just health. I can
Yes.
see maybe 5 because I'm not so sure. I'm not so healthy at the same time. I'm not so unhealthy.
Okay, 5. All right. Now I'd like to ask my very enthusiastic co-speaker for today, how would you rate your health, Shabnam?
Somewhere 6
6.
out
Okay.
of 10.
Okay. So what I'm going to do now is read the definition of health according to the World Health Organization, or WHO. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease and infirmity. So here, infirmity refers to a physical or a mental weakness. I know this looks a little complicated in meaning. I'll tell you what it means now in a very, very easy way. Health simply means the extent to which you are physically, that is, in terms of your body, mentally, in terms of your mind, and socially, how you are in the presence of anyone else other than yourself. Well, so health simply means the extent to which you are physically, mentally, and socially well. Now, I'd ask our host, my co speaker, and all of you who are listening to this here to reconsider this question and answer it to yourself again. How would you rate yourself? How would you rate your health on a 1 to 10 rating scale? I'm very sure that now you'll have a little bit of a difference in the rating.
Yeah, it sure does change.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yes,
Great.
totally.
Okay. So let me start off by answering the very important question that you did ask. That is, what is mental health? To bring that into simple terms, it mental health means the extent to which your cognitive is your thinking part, your thoughts, your behavioral, that is your actions, and the emotional, that is your feeling part. To which extent all of this is well, to which extent all of this is good. So, which means your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings need to be in a stabilized form. It needs to be in a balanced form. Any imbalance in any one of these factors, in any one of these aspects, can cause trouble, can cause a sort of distress in your life. So let's remember one thing here, that the way you think, the way you act, and the way you feel is very, very important, because it defines you as a person, as an individual, and towards the end, it defines your personality. Any sort of incongruence or any sort of imbalance in the way that you feel, think, or behave can reflect in any one of these, and it can ultimately result in your personality. It can reflect in your personality. So it is you who has to take care of your mental health, and it is very vital for everyone to look after their mental health. Now let's move on to. Now I'd like to move on to giving you a quick glimpse of Gen Z or Generation Z, pandemic and the mental health. As we know, COVID started around February 2020, I believe. If you would have played close attention, you would have been able to easily notice that since then we've had India, not only India, the whole world has taken an immeasurable notice in the mental field, in the mental health
Yes,
area,
agreed.
in the
Yes.
yes, in the mental health issues and how to cope with it. There was a sudden increase, there was a sudden boom, just like this when the pandemic hit. I remember that I used to go through the newspapers, and before pandemic and after pandemic, and I remember when it was after pandemic, there was at least one article regarding mental health in the newspaper every single day. So I would say that it was a huge boom for all the mental health professionals working, such as the psychiatrists, the psychologists, the social workers, the clinical psychologists, everybody. All of them faced a huge boom, a sudden demand for all of these mental health professionals as soon as the pandemic hit. So when the world was running towards trying to make meaning of what this new virus is, and issuing lockdowns and coming up with vaccines and preparing vaccines, how did this mental health field get such recognition in such a short period of time? So during this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of us have experienced um, a lot of issues, mental health issues, such as stress, both acute and chronic, anxiety, fear, sadness, and most importantly, loneliness. This is something that I would really like to stress on. That I'm very sure most of us would have felt loneliness during this pandemic, and a lot of it worsened into mental health disorders such as depression and many more. A study published on NCBI 2020 revealed the following. The major health issues reported were stress, anxiety, depression, insomnia, denial, anger, and fear. Children and older people, frontline workers, and people with already existing mental health issues were among the most vulnerable in this context. COVID-19 related suicides have also been increasingly common during this pandemic time. So, globally, measures have been taken to address these mental health issues through the use of guidelines and intervention strategies. So, what a lot of NGOs did, what a lot of organizations, what the government themselves did was come up with intervention programs to try and help these people who are affected mentally, to try and stabilize them and balance their mental health. The role of social media has also been quite immense in this context because you could not reach out to people in a physical way. You had to reach out to them in another way. And that's where the social media played a huge role. A lot of intervention strategies, telepsychiatric consultations, and toll free numbers specific for these psychological and behavioral issues were issued by the government themselves. So, from this, we can clearly see the booming importance that this generation has thrown upon uh, in the mental health field. So we are the ones who need to carry this forward and make this mental health, shed light on it, create more awareness on it, because we can clearly see that India has a lot of misconception regarding this. They have a lot. It's almost a sort of taboo, I think. So now we know that the health factor is incomplete without your mental health factor being taken into consideration. So here I would urge each one of you to reflect on what you're thinking, what you're doing, and what you're feeling. Take some time off to introspect, to reflect upon yourself and see what it is that you're doing. If you have to take notes, take notes. If you need to journal your feelings and what you're doing and what you're thinking, journal it, use a book to note it down, and help yourself figure out yourself. That's the only thing that we can do, as individuals.
Yes.
But yes, please reflect on everything that you're doing, and whatever it is that you are doing, do it consciously, as consciously as possible. So now I'd like to let my fellow co-speaker take over.
Hi everyone, I am Shabnam. I am a co-speaker today, and it's really great to be here. And thank you, Sandra, for having us here.
Sure.
So to jump into continuing what Rashmi was saying, I would say she defined health. In that there were three aspects: physical, mental, and social. I will say we are only giving importance to the physical and we are forgetting the mental as well as the social aspect of it. Both of it are being neglected equally. But just like how Rashmi said, or if these three things are not in balance, then you cannot be healthy at all. You can't say, hey, what, I'm healthy. You see, I have my doctor's report, it says I'm healthy. Is it what it is? Is it like you have your doctor's report and you say like, Paka, I'm done, I'm healthy? No, it is not at all. And if you see physical health, what is the threat to a physical health? If you ask, diseases, fever, cold, disease, etc. Then what is the threat to your mental health? We are saying we're talking about mental health right now. And what exactly is mental health? Taking care of your mind. That means what is it that is going to affect your mind that you should be taking care of it? Right? That is one question that we need to ask ourselves. So what exactly am I protecting my mind from? What exactly am I trying to keep my mind healthy from? That question, there are so many answers, but the first thing is stress. Everyday life. Okay? Stress, normal stress to big stress. Okay? Like some major event, someone passed away or some accident happened, major. But what about the everyday thing? Every day you wake up and you don't see your socks in the place that you left. That is a stress. You don't see your pen, you don't take or you miss out your chart when you are leaving. It is a stress. Stress in simple terms, if I want to define, means there is a balance. If there is imbalance in anything, it will create a stress. Okay, simple thing. There is a thing. So in as human beings, we strive to achieve this balance. Whether it is our body, whether it is our mind, or whether it is our, internal part, everything wants to have a balance, wants to be stable. And when it doesn't get this, what happens? Imbalance occurs. And when imbalance, what happens? It leads to distress. So this stress is everyday thing, simplest simple thing like losing your sock somewhere to a big thing like, having a fight. It can come in any form, in any way, and this is the threat to your mental health. How you respond to it. One more thing I would like to say, each and every one are different. You throw 4 or 5 persons in an elevator and that elevator, that lift stops. How each person reacts is going to be different. Not everyone are going to start panicking. Some are going to be quiet. Some are going to call for help. Some are going to sit and cry. Some are going to be thinking of calling someone, loved ones and telling their last words. See, each and every one are going to be different. Same situation, same stress, but there is going to be individual difference in everything. Just the same, your mental health is also yours. What stress you experience is also yours. And how you are going to respond to it is also solely in your hands. So now we know that stress plays such an important factor in it. And I would like to say one more thing is stress can keep building up. If you don't, tackle that stress right now, it will going to keep building up, and it will keep going on until you just, burst it out in someone. And you will be like, why did I do it? We often do it. Sometimes we just angry, we laugh it out. And then you will say, I was stressed for so many days. What do you mean by stress for so many days? Why did you not tackle that day stress that day itself? Why are you building it up so that you are taking it to the last minute, hurting someone else? It just goes out. Why are you leaving it to go out of control? Stress is going to be every day. You have to tackle it, right? So in this, now that we know that the stress is a major factor, I would continue saying that there are 3 things, okay, for a person is connected to 3 things. One is her own development as a person, the other is the support of the family, and the other is the community that she is going to be reaching out to. Okay? First, as a person, when we were children, we do stuff we don't, mean to do sometimes, and we always run on impulses. Correct? We want a chocolate, I want a chocolate, I don't care who is happy or not. That is what we were like this. But as we grow up, it changes, right? We adapt to our friends, we adapt to our parents, we adapt to so many things, and the stress. And okay, now a 5-year-old kid is going and falling down, okay? And she's starting to bleed. What will she do? She will run to her parents and say, Mom, I got hurt. And what will they do? They'll put a bandage on it. So the girl learns that whenever you hurt, you have to put a bandage, right? Taking care of your physical. Now, same thing, if you are feeling something, okay, you are going through some stress in your life, and you're going and telling your parents or anybody that, and they're saying it's all in your head, what are they doing? Are they teaching the child to tackle it, or are they teaching the child to ignore it? What are they doing? Is this what have been done to us? Right? Who taught us? When you're having a fever, you take a paracetamol. You go to the doctor. These things is ingrained in us because it was taught to us. Nobody just leaves, she's having 105-degree fever, and nobody just tell you, it's all in your head. See, we need to understand that simple stuff. Then why are we ignoring what a person is feeling inside, what a person is going through inside? Because no one taught us. From that side, from upper side, we were not taught to take care of ourselves. We were not taught to love ourselves. We were not taught so many stuff. We were prepared. We are going to school every day. We are learning physics, chemistry, geography, so many stuff. But none of this stuff is going to help you when you are actually facing a stress. You can't be putting sine plus theta plus thing, and you can't be, finding a solution for your life problem, is it? No. In that case, then what exactly should people teach you first? This simple thing like how to deal with your day, everyday thing. How to deal with so many stuff like this. This is what physical prepare. This is what they should prepare each and every child to be. But now it has not happened, and here we all are, right? Now what should we do? We should start teaching ourselves. That is the only thing right now, right? We should start teaching ourselves all these things. Simple thing, you should start loving yourself. And it is not a simple journey. It is not a simple journey at all. For example, you're running and you fell down. Your bone, sprinkled. It got hurt. What will you do? You will put the bandage, and for few days you will, not walk. You will not do anything because the bandage is there, and you're like, okay, no one is going to give me any work. I'm just going to sit. After it heals, okay, after you take off the bandage, the next day, so are you going to go run a marathon? Will you go and run a marathon? What will they say? See, your leg is just where you fell down. It might not have healed yet. You took off the bandage, but still you're saying it has not healed because you know that inside it needs some time to heal. Exactly. Then why not yourself as well? If you have the courtesy to treat your leg with that much tenderness, because after this downfall, for a few days your leg is going to be tender, right? So you need to treat it in that way. Then why not yourself? Till now you have not been, loving yourself. But now that you're going to start, you're not going to be like, today I'm going to take a rest. I'm going to binge watch all the episodes. No, rest doesn't come like this. You can't start loving yourself like this. Today I'm going to go look beautiful. I'm going to put all the products there. I'm going to, wear the beautiful clothes I have. That is not self-love. Self-love is being compassionate towards yourself. How? When you face a stress, what are you saying to yourself? That is what self-talk is. How? Are you saying you are a failure? This is what you'll do. This is, there's sometimes when we are very much emotional, what do? Oh my God, I can't do anything. This is what I am fit for. And we start rambling. That rambling is yourself talking to you, which is your self-talk. You should say, like how Rasmi told, we should start being mindful. How do you be mindful? You can't just go read an article on how to be mindful and then, you start practicing. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay? So pay attention to your self-talk, how you talk to yourself. So when you feel like you failed something, you are not a failure. Okay? What do we say? I am a failure. But if you start thinking like this was a failed attempt, I can try again later. See, you're separating yourself from your, you know, from the experience that has happened to you. What you're saying, you're not saying I'm a failure, but you're saying this is a failed attempt so that you can try again. No matter how many times you fail, you can try again. See, we are human beings. We are going to feel every emotion. Okay, one workshop that I attended, they said, they asked us a question. Emotions. There are good emotions, there are bad emotions. So they started asking us to name it. We told good emotions are happiness, joy, and bad emotions are anger. And you know what the person told us? She's like, emotions are emotions. There is no good or bad. It is coming out from you, right? It is yours. You are responding to it. Then, what does it mean good or bad? How you respond, how you take about that emotion is what makes it good or bad. You can be angry at someone, right? That doesn't mean you need to shout. Shouting is wrong. Not being angry. You are hurt. That's why you are angry. That means you need to let another person know that you are hurt, right? You can't like, okay, it's all right. You know what, she's my friend, I'm going to, leave. What will happen? You are hurt, you are angry. It will keep building. Then one day you are going to sit and put, see, these are all the things that you did for me and now I'm angry at you. Where will it go and lead? This is not. So whenever you feel an emotion, it is your emotion. Nobody has a right on it. Even if you feel unfair, you are feeling angry, you are feeling like the world is very wrong for you, whether you are feeling or you are feeling to the top of the world, like you're the most happiest person, it is your emotion. So you need to start knowing it, noticing it. It's not just like, you wake up, you do something and you leave. Why are you responding to a situation like this? You see a friend, why are you happy? Right? You see another friend and you're like, hey, hi, how are you? Why are you happy? Because she is someone you were comfortable with. Because she is someone you shared something with. Right? You can see to another person who you don't like and you're like, oh my god, I should not be here. See, how you respond to another person can tell you. So all we need to do is pay attention to what we do. Just like how Rasmi pointed out. So your emotions are yours and you have to accept it. You can't say, I'm feeling like this and I am bad. No, you're not good, you're not bad. Okay, what you do with it is what matters. So you have certain emotions, you first accept it that it is you who's feeling it, and yes, it is all right to feel such way. Okay, we have ranges of emotions and we go through everything. So first you need to do is accept them. Yes, it's all right to have emotions and give yourself time to go through it. That is self-love. That is you showing compassion to another person. Okay, if somebody is crying, you will not just go.
So how you respond
now somebody is crying.
Important.
Yes, somebody is crying, you go give them tissue and they don't want to talk to you. What do? You just sit there. You just be there. You won't be like, hey, ennachu, sollu, parayilla, va, ivanga kitta polam. You will not rush. When you know that someone and you love that someone and they are going through so much, what do? You will want to help them. Then, why not do it to yourself? When you are going through stress, why are you beating yourself down? Don't do it. We should not do. We should give ourselves this time, to, if you're angry, for example, just to take an angry, you're angry at someone so much, but that person is somebody you love, okay? That means what you can do is you can just take a minute to understand why you are angry, okay? And you can take some time to think about it. Why are you angry? And then you can take time to, this is what I'm saying. So first is you need to identify your emotions, then you need to accept your emotions, and then you need to regulate it. Now, where does that emotion go? It has to go somewhere, right? You can't just keep it. I told you, if you keep building up, what happens? It's going to burst. So it has to go somewhere. That means you have to regulate it in a correct way. So when you are accepting it, you are letting yourself feel it. So what happens when you feel it? You're letting it, go. You're letting it yourself, is like you're accepting it and you're letting it go. So and just like how Rasmi said, journaling or speaking to another person, this is how you let it go. Okay, you can call up your friend and say, hey, hi, you know what? I'm feeling a little low, can we talk? It is not easy. I would say showing yourself, showing yourself vulnerable is not something we human beings do. It is so easy to share a happy memory than share a sad memory. You can go and like, today I had the biggest meal in my life, and you can tell so happily. But at the same time, showing yourself vulnerable is something that we don't do. We don't put our trust on others. Okay, so it is you, whether you write it in a journal, whether you say it out to other person, or you stand in the top and shout, no problem. It is your emotion. How you going to deal with it is what matters. And this is what we call coping mechanisms, right? How you cope with the stress. And there is, I would like to say that in everything there is good and there is a bad. Everything.
Yeah.
If I'm telling something positive, then in that positive also there is going to be a good and there is going to be a bad. Then in your, how you going to deal has a positive thing, has a, negative thing as well. So what are you going to choose is what matters. So what I'm going to do is actually helping me or not, right? If it's not helping you, if it's only going to put, away from others, then it's not. One part that I learned from my, from my one of my subjects was this is called stroke, and this is like appreciation, love, caring. When you're having something, okay, this is what strokes is. So this is like when you have them, when you're having that much love in you, that much care in you, then give. See, when you're having, then give it to others. And when somebody is giving to you, accept them. When somebody is coming and saying, hey, you look so pretty, and what do you say? No, apila illapa, nala illapa. Don't. They are giving you, appreciation. Receive it happily. You feel that happiness, and you give it to someone else. And when you need it, you need to ask for it. This is the hardest part. I told you, vulnerability. We don't show our vulnerability. People are not mind readers. They are not going to, know what you are thinking or feeling, what you're expecting from them. You need to let them know, right? So they can't just like, you know what, she's going to scold me if I don't do this. They are not mind readers. You need to let them know that if you do such thing, it will upset me. So and they will want. Okay, so when you want somebody to appreciate you or to do something, don't wait. Don't sit for them to come and tell you. Ask for it. I wore a new dress today. How am I looking? Simple as that. And then when somebody is giving a stroke that you don't like, you don't have to accept that. We need to know when somebody is coming and saying, okay, for example, mostly, relatives, when they come and they just like keep nagging at you, what do? You feel so irritated. But you are compelled that you have you have to oblige to them, like, yeah, nice. No, you don't have to put up with anything. You don't have to accept that stroke inside. Somebody is saying that you are good for nothing, you just do these things. That heat of a moment they might be saying, you don't have to accept it, simple. And then last thing is, you have to give it to yourself as well. As I already told you have to give some for yourself. That same love, that same compassion, that same patience that you give for another person, you have to show some to yourself as well. Now this was all for, as a person, what you are going through. Now you are connected with another person, right? You're connected with your parents, you're connected with your friends, you're connected with your community. We are social beings, and let's not forget that. You can, like, I am a very home person. I'm going to sit inside my home. Okay, I'm an introvert pie card. But you check all those introverts, they will have a, social account, and they'll be very active in their social account. Why? Because we are social beings and we seek one another, we seek that human contact with another person. In that case, the main factor who is molding you is your parents, right? And I already told you, parents have two jobs in them. One is they have to take care of themselves and they have to take care of you as well. So as a one person itself, you are having so many stress and you have to deal with all these things. Then think about parents. They have to take care of their mental health and their stuff, and then they have to mold you, take care of it, blah, 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 blah. Sensitive information, loading. What happened? Error. What happened? So, if I'm going to ask you, how many of you are happy in your family? So many will be like, aha, I'm good, happy. But inside, they will have something or the other, right? They will have something or the other in their hearts about regarding their family. Like it is not safe for them. It is not okay for them. It is not good for them to go. See, that is not an environment you create. As a parent, you are working, you are going through all these hard work. Why? To earn money. What are you going to do with that money? You're going to take care of your family, right? Then is that money alone enough for a family? My question is money alone. If somebody, I'm just giving you, Sandra, have this much money and you can live with your family. Is it alright? You can eat whatever you want. You can buy all the dress you want. But your mother and father is not going to speak to you because they are busy. Will you be happy? No. You might have a beautiful dress. You might have a tougher tummy. But still, that need for your mother to be there, your father to be there, not going to be there. So first we need to understand that that is the basic need. More than money, more than any other thing, being there, letting them know. It's more harder for parents to open up than the children. So just our generation is what's opening up now. But now if you ask your parents, your father is not going to tell that he is hurt. Your father is not going to say that he is, he's on the verge of tears. He is going to shout at you. And then he will go to the back and he will cry. See, because of this generation, we are not taught to show their feelings out. But that is not the case now. It is us who have to change that. Your parents are not opening up, you open up. It is hard. That bridge is already broken, but it is hard to, patch it back. But you can do it. You can just try out. Okay? Because the environment that you live is very important. Whatever happens in that environment is going to affect you. If your mother and father is going to keep on shouting, it is going to affect you, right? You are not just like, you can't say that, right? Somehow you are listening, it is affecting you. And more than physical abuse, verbal abuse can disable a person in so many ways. Just verbally, somebody is telling you something, it can hurt you so much as a physical pain does. It will be like, you can just beat me instead of saying those words, right? Sometimes we'll be like, why are you saying such words? It's like you slapped on my face. What does that mean? It is equivalent to your physical pain. So all these things are little things that we need to first take care of ourselves as a person. We need to take care of the environment that we are living in and the close people in it, your family especially. Which is so they are your support. So the environment should be in such a way that if you are feeling pain, you need to be able to open up to them. If you are not able to tell to your parents that you have such so and so, if you are going through so and so, then where will you go and tell? Who will you go and open up? It's time we think, right? What kind of a person that we want to be? We want to be someone who shows our emotions and or are we going to be someone who's, somebody sees us and they run. You mudilappa, ivalapata, ellada mulla tension adigara. It happens. And the third is our community. Okay, the community is a people that is similar to you, that you like and can understand yourself with. So this community is I'm not telling that your neighbors or your society that you are living in or even the country that you are living in. Community is different. It is people that you identify yourself with. See, teenagers and college-going people have something in common with them. We are the youth. They have that youth as a common in them. Why? Because there is something similar between one another. Right? They are also the same age as you. They are also having the same, youthness in you that is running in them. That's why anything comes for you, there is always a unity among it. Right? So, that is your community. We are addressing a community right now. As in your program, you are addressing a community. Exactly. And we are part of that community. That's why people will listen to us. If I am going to be like 50 years old and I'm going to be saying, this people will not be listening. They're like, சொல்லிட்டு போவாங்க. You know, that I am your age, you are my age. That's why that communication is going. Hence, you need to, hence, stress is going to be every day, anywhere. And it can be from simple to big things. But how you tackle it is what takes care of your mental health. You have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
start, you have to start taking care of yourself first. You have to start building a relationship, with a very trustworthy relationship. And you have to start building the community that want to be in. The people that you like, people that you share, people. Because we will uplift one another. For example, you walk into a room, you can actually sense if somebody is fighting there, and they are quiet, but actually you can sense the air very tense. என்ன நடக்குது இங்க யாரோ சண்டை போடுறாங்களா? So when you walk in, make sure that the other people are happy. The other people are, receptive. Oh, this girl, it is someone I can be comfortable with. You need to make such kind of things first for yourself. It's going to be a long process, very long process.
Yeah,
You need
Shabnam,
to give yourself time to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
done.
this, yeah, okay. So is there anything that you want to add on to it, Rasmi?
Yes. So I want to talk a little about the power to change and how to execute it. So what does this mean? Power to change. Power to change what? Who has this power? You, me. Yes, we all have this power to. We all have this power inside us to bring about changes in the mental health field. And how do we execute this? So let me take this up with an example. So when somebody calls you, phones you up, when you call somebody, or when somebody calls you and tells you their problems, the issues that they're facing in their life, some sort of difficulty that they're going through, what would anybody do? What would you do? So provide the help that you can, correct?
Yeah,
Whatever
try to
help
be
that you
there.
can,
Yeah.
try to be. So you start first by listening to them, what it is that they have to say. You'll start understanding their problem, and most of us would try to empathize with them, try to look
Mm-hmm.
at the problem from their perspective and not from our perspective. We'll try to empathize with them. We then provide our insight on their problem. We try to tell them what we think, the solutions that we think. We try to put that out to them. So, if you see, this is actually the very base of counseling. We all have been counselors in our life, in some part of our life at least. Yes,
Yes.
not professional, but still, we've
But
helped
still.
people, we've all been counselors, yes. So, this is your power. This is my power, and this is our power. And this is how you execute the power. It's as simple as that. So, let's remember that the power that we possess, if we don't execute it, it's the same as not possessing the power in the first place. So please provide the help that you can when somebody comes and approaches you. Let's not label them as annoying or irritating or problematic. If there is something you can do to help them, do it. If there's nothing you can do to help them, listen. Sit silently and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is one of the most biggest help that anybody can do to somebody. Just sit there silently and listen. Just like Shravya also mentioned. So to conclude with this, I want to try to link how mental health is connected to the sustainable development of any society or any country. This whole topic, if you see, tries and focuses on the mental health aspect, which comes under the health aspect. So, does wealth without health make sense? Does health without wealth? Does wealth without health make
No,
sense?
it
If
doesn't.
you actually think about it, it's confusing, but when you think about it, it does not make sense.
It does
So,
not.
how is this mental health linked to sustainable development or development as a whole? Another easy example that I want to provide here, if somebody is mentally unstable, there is clearly going to be, this is clearly going to affect both their personal life as well as their work life. So what happens when your work life is affected? Your input for the company that you're working in or the organization that you're working in, there's going to be a problem over there. So the output, so if you are facing a sort of problem, the input that you give will decrease. So will that decrease the output of the company or the organization? Maybe if it's one person, not so much, not very consequential, not a lot. But what if 10 people are facing this mental issue? So what then? There's going to be
Of
a
course.
change in the output of the company because there's going to be a change in the input of the 10 employees putting in their hard work. So there will clearly be a drop in the output of the company. So what if all the companies start dropping in a society because of the mental health? Because just 10 people or just 15 people in the organization have been mentally affected. This will pull down the society, the community, or the society as a whole. And this will again this will result in this will impede the developmental process. Whether it is sustainable or not, it will impede in the development process of the society. So, with this example in mind, I can tell you other facts such as inequality is again directly linked to poor health and access to health. Clean water and sanitation is linked to health and our well-being. Suicide cases of about 8 lakh suicide cases happen every year worldwide, and this is one of the major causes of death. Substance abuse, both physical dependence and a psychological dependence. Everything ultimately results in the impeding the development of a society as a whole. So hence the focus needs to be directed more towards the mental health field, and this is how it is connected to the development, whether sustainable or not, it is connected to the development of the society as a whole.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys both have discussed, we can see that mental health is something, it is very, huge topic that we cannot just cover in just one day, but time is one thing that we don't have, and because we have to, just make it a lot shorter. You guys have mentioned how much we are not recognizing mental health as important as physical health. As in when Shabnam gave that example, when a child goes running to the parent, saying they got hurt, they take a consideration, like they are like, taking time to consider it. But when we go and tell them I'm depressed or I'm stressed out, they're like, it's all just your mindset. You can just think from some other point, and you can just get out of it. So how much we are neglecting the mental health, and how much important it is, and the role it plays in the sustainable development. It's like very really shocking when we really say, look into it in that way. So thank you for touching those sensible parts, and now getting on to the QA questions. I have some specific questions to you guys. So first one will be to Shabnam. How important is mental health?
Yeah, just as how I already pointed out, stress is the important factor, and if you start tackling it, then you at least one part of your health is okay. You have to take care of your physical, mental, and social health as well. There has to be a balance between these three. In that, mental health doesn't have an entity. For example, physical health, Avina, you can take a blood test, okay, and say that you have malaria. But can you take a blood test and say something is wrong with your, it sounds absurd because there's nothing solid outside for us to see. It is all inside, okay? And we need to let people know. We need to let people know that this is like I am feeling something, not because I'm a sensitive person, not because I'm unsensitive person. They say, right, you are irritating, she's always irritating, she's very sentimental, she'll be crying. No, as I already said, each and every one are different, your needs are different. Hence, mental health is important to each and everyone, and you have to take care of it.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. And next question will be to Rashmi. How much is India suffering from mental health issues?
India. Yes, that's a very good question because, like I mentioned, India is still not in that aspect of cordially going with mental health. I want to quickly read through statistical information that I found when I was going through this. This was published in UNICEF website. Only 41% of young people between the age of 15 to 24 years of age in India said that it is good to get support for mental health problems, compared to an average of 83% for 21 countries. In fact, India was the only country where only a minority of young people felt that people experiencing mental health issues should reach out to others. So, what I'm trying to say from this is that a lot of people in India feel that reaching out to a mental health professional is not a great idea here, and rather tackling it with their own ways of using different things is what has been highlighted here. So, in every other country, a majority of young people felt that reaching out was the best way to deal with mental health issues. The survey, which also previewed in the State of World's Children 2021, also found that 14% of 15 to 24 years olds in India, 1 in 7 reported often feeling depressed or having little interest in doing things. So this is pretty much self-explanatory in itself, and it sums up that people in India are still not ready to reach out to people, mental health professionals, to be more specific, because they sort of feel that it's a taboo reaching out to them. Maybe it's still something that's considered weird and odd in our society, because talking about your feelings has never really been an important aspect in our society in India.
Yes. Yes.
So, for example, if you're going to a doctor, you have fever or you have a headache, you go to a doctor, you come back, nobody asks you anything after that. But if there is any question that comes up saying, hey, you're going to a psychiatrist, are you sure? Do you want to think about
Yes.
it again? So that's
Yes.
a little odd. That's a little weird for people to hear it. But I think we need to get used to it, to bridge that gap and to break it and to
Exactly.
keep on to the other side.
Yeah. Thank you for that insight. And the next question will be, what is social media's part in mental health issue? Shabnam.
Yeah, social media. As I already said, there is good in everything, there is bad in everything. In that
Yes.
case, now, as a pandemic, as an example, if I have to say, this social media has helped a lot, lot in taking forward, mental health. And how did they actually do it? Is I already told you, we need to form a community, right? Community is not because just because somebody is living next door or this is the India that you're living. No, community is the people that you understand. You are able to identify themselves with. In that case, social media is a great platform. For example, I am a mental health professional. And when I go on social media like Instagram, there are so many other people working for the same cause. Then there will be a bondship, there will be a comradeship with them or not. Like, for example, you guys are doing something for mental health. So now what we three are doing here is we are forming a small community on our own. In
Yes.
that case, in that case, no matter what you are, for example, you want to learn a guitar, okay, you see social media, there are so many other people who are learning guitar, so you go, you interact with them, you are able to get that failure is okay, that first time they also fail, so it's all right for me to also fail, and next time I can do. So with practice I too can increase. Same thing like that. Social media has taken a great role in spreading positivity and spreading awareness of mental health. Now you see there are so many people following so many pages like self-care, you know, self-care, journey, love, whatever it is, so many good things which are going out there, sending us reminders that it's all right, you know, to taking care of our mental health. So such kind of thing is really, really appreciated, and we are so thankful for that. But on
Yeah.
the other hand, it can force people to conform. Okay, so what you see in social media is not everything real. Okay, somebody can post a status that they just ate biryani, but they might be sitting in the room crying while you were watching that status. See, we
Yeah.
don't know. It is a state that people can wear. We should not trust it. Okay, you can
Yes.
use, social media as much as you can, but you should know to draw the line between, what is real and unreal. You want to be in someone's life, then be. You need to text them, you need to call them, you need to talk to them, and not know them with their status. Right? We see
Yes.
everyone's status. We say like, hey, you know what? I know that girl. She posts every day, and I know her. No, you don't know her. You don't know what she's
Yeah,
going
you're,
through.
you're
You wanna
very true. You're very true, Shabnam. There is like both good and bad sides of social media that plays a very important role. And yeah, so the next question will be to Rasmi. How to overcome disturbing or negative thoughts?
Okay, so let me be very frank here. Negative
Mm-hmm.
thoughts is something that we all have from time to time. And this is a sort of assurance that I'm giving that it's okay to have negative thoughts. It's okay to feel in a negative way, and it's completely fine. But you need to be mindful about when it's exceeding a sort of limit. So when you let yourself get too deep or too caught up in this negativity, then it turns into a problem. It becomes a problem then. It's no longer okay to feel negative or think negatively, because then you're not doing it within a limit. Everything has a limit. You're exceeding it, it becomes a problem. So I'll give you a very small example here. For example, you phone up a friend. She does not pick up. What is the first few things that come into your mind?
She is maybe, neglecting, or like she's not in good terms with me or something. She's busy with herself. She's not giving
Okay.
importance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So from the two or three things that you said, I'm guessing almost all of them, if not just one, was positive and the others were negative. So
Yeah, of
as
course.
soon as, yes, so as soon as you call somebody, they don't pick up, what happened to her? Why did she not pick up? Is she in a sort of problem? Has she gotten into an accident? Why hasn't she come home? There is all of these whys are usually tied up with negativity, negative ideas. Just because
Mm-hmm.
somebody's not picking up the call, her phone could have died for all we know.
Yeah.
She could probably be talking to her boss or her manager or her friend, or she could
Yes.
be partying somewhere and we never know about it. So any sort of situation, the first thing that strikes is something negative for most people.
Mm-hmm.
So from this, what I'm trying to say is that um, we need to accept a situation as it is instead of labeling it as positive or negative. When you approach a situation or an event in a neutral way, you find a little more meaning, a little more practicality in it. When you label it as something negative or positive, you are, again, you're labeling it. And a lot of these times you end up labeling it in a negative way,
Yeah.
because when you be practical, when you're neutral, it's more better than being unrealistically positive or unrealistically negative. So approaching something in a more neutral manner is more important. So when you're given a choice between focusing on something positive or negative, yes, definitely focus on something that is positive. Instead of dwelling on how bad you feel, on dwelling on how bad or negative something is, definitely uh, concentrate on something that is more positive. That is something that I would say. Consider starting each day. Whenever you start by feeling thankful for all the things that you have, because gratitude is a whole beautiful big domain of how to increase this sort of positivity and happiness that you have in life. So whenever you start off in the morning, definitely focus on all the things that you have and all the things that you're thankful of. That is something that will boost up your positivity or the happy feeling in you right from the start of the day. And I'm very sure that that will last until the very end of the day. And
Yeah.
definitely have hope and accept changes as they come. Whatever changes it is, if it's a positive or negative change, or if you just don't want to label it neutral change, it's a change. So accept it and move forward with it.
Yeah. Great. So Moving ahead, we have some audience question which popped out in the chat box. I'll read. What are some of the signs of someone who is depressed?
Okay, do you want to go ahead, Shabnam?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so when you start off with signs of someone's who are depressed, again, depression is a whole plethora of information, and uh, it's a whole new field of uh, in psychology. So when you want to try to identify somebody who could be depressed, I'm not saying they will be, who could be depressed, you need to start by observing them. Look at them to see what they are not doing that they would have done otherwise. For example, if somebody goes to play basketball or throw ball thrice a week and they don't for the entire week, there could be something different in their routine that has changed them. Okay, so if there is things that you show interest towards something and you don't show interest towards those anymore, that is a sort of red flag for you to observe that person. When you talk to somebody, when they're filled with negative thoughts, when they're filled with negativity, and when they're dropping it on you, that is a red flag. Because to a limit, everybody has negativity. But when you know that there is some sort of limit that is being crossed over here, and this person is filled with some sort of negativity or sadness, that is another red flag for if this person could be depressed. And the duration again. If it's going to be for a week, that's not depression. A lot of people instantly say, I'm very depressed, I didn't get my birthday cake today. That's not depression. You know, depression has few signs and symptoms that has been listed by DSM-5. If anybody is doubtful about that, please go and visit the website. Check out for DSM-5 criteria, diagnostic criteria for depression. And if you feel that you do come under any one of there are few listed criterias which you have to attain to be labeled as depression. You need to visit a mental health professional immediately. Please do not delay it, because this is something that has been on the rise since the pandemic, and I'm very sure even if the pandemic ends, depression is going to be a thing in India, in the world. It's going to be a thing. As long as you're living, there is going to be depression in
Of
at least
course.
one or the other part of your life. So yes. Do you want to add on to something, Shabnam?
Yeah, it's a small thing, as Rasmi already said. Looking at Google, Google is not a doctor, guys. So one more thing, Google is never a doctor. If you identify that there is something wrong with you, seek out. First thing you have to do is whenever you feel like something is wrong with you or something is wrong with another person, you need to talk to them. And if it is you don't have to go to Google and see all these symptoms and you know what, I have this. You can't do this, which is wrong. You are hurting. You're only going to end up hurting yourself by delaying. You feel something is wrong, you go. And one more thing is, you can go whether you have a problem or not. You can having a regular, for example, for once a year, people check out their doctor, right, to go through a full body
Yes.
checkup. Just because you go through a body checkup, nobody is going to tell you that you have some disease or illness. No, it is just you're checking up. Like that, you can have a routine check with your psychologist as well, with your counselor as well. Just going and talking and venting out your thing, and they will know the, they know such a lot of different ways that you can't see, and they will help you. See, finding help is not wrong. How you talk to your friend, you're just going to go and talk to someone who actually knows what to do. So, so this is what I'm saying. First, go. When you feel like you are stressed, when you feel like you can't bear this, go seek out help. That is really, really going to help you.
Great. Thank you for sharing that views. And another audience question is, what if you are addicted to toxicity, and why is that, and how to stop it? If so.
Okay, toxicity. Rasmi, would you want to go or shall I?
No, please go ahead. I'll continue.
Okay, so toxicity and addiction. Okay, these two are, as again, very vast topic. And one more thing, addiction. By definition, addiction, there are so many things: drugs, alcohol, etc., etc., etc. There are so many things. Nowadays, gaming addiction is also being added. Addiction could be something that you cannot resist. Okay, cannot resist doing it, and you want to do it again and again. So you say that you are addicted to something. You say that, for example, I am addicted to books. I keep reading, but that just doesn't satisfy me. But if I stop going to college, if I stop eating, if I stop sleeping, and if I stop doing all these things just to sit and read, then that is
Addiction.
not a
Yeah.
addiction at all. So this is what, whenever you feel like you're addicted to something, seek out help. This is what I will say. Whether you're addicted to coffee or you get addicted to something else, when you feel like you're addicted to something, seek out another person's help. And as for toxicity is, if in case of a person, if somebody is making you feel something that you don't like, okay, somebody's putting you down, somebody's controlling you, somebody's manipulating you, something you don't feel like you are in an equal person with another person, that could be a red sign. You need to start analyzing, why are you behaving this way with that person. Is it there? Is it they are doing it or you are doing it? And then you need to move. You need to have your space to think, and then you need to act. See, it is when you are in a toxic anywhere, whether it is your home, relationship, or your family or friends, anywhere toxicity could just pop out of nowhere. People just come and say stuff like you are not good for anything. Even that simple word is what? Wrong, toxic. So in that case, my only suggestion is, when as I already told, when somebody is giving you something that you don't want, don't accept. You know, don't
Mm,
accept
yes.
whether it is. You need to know to stand up for yourself. So this is how you are standing up for yourself, by not accepting something. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, toxicity, it's in itself is a huge term, because toxic towards what? Are you feeling toxic because somebody is toxic, and that toxic person is making you feel toxic, or are you talking about a toxic substance because alcohol abuse and tobacco abuse, all of these are toxic substances. So again, that's a broad term. I'm not exactly understanding what exactly he means, or he or she means, by toxicity. But in a general term, toxic is not a good word. So toxic is aligned more towards the negative side. So if you feel, like Shabnam said, if you feel somebody is making you feel toxic, move away. That is not how you're supposed to feel. You're not supposed to feel negative. If somebody is making you feel bad, that is not somebody you're supposed to be with, because you need to value your happiness. So, move away. If there is some substance that is giving this toxic feeling, move away. That'll again end up disrupting your life. It's going to make your life toxic. So move away. And as for addiction, a lot of people are addicted to toxic substances, to toxic people. So it depends on what you're talking about, what you're addicted to. Are you addicted to a substance? Are you addicted to a person? Are you addicted to a toxic relationship that you can't move out from? So again, addiction is a broad term. So um, like Shabnam mentioned, the example, reading book, if that disrupts your routine, then there's a problem with that addiction. So for example, I'm addicted to running. I love running, but I can stay away from it for a month. I can do that, but I still am addicted to running because I love running. So identifying where it is disrupting your life, disrupting your routine, or disrupting yourself, and moving accordingly. That's what I would say in terms of addiction. So if you're
Great.
addicted to something toxic, move away.
Okay, thank you very much for answering those audience questions. And I have just one last question, which is you both can answer. What can the youth do to help a person with unstable mental health?
Go ahead, Shabnam.
Yeah. So this is a phrase that is very favorite of mine, brick by brick. Like, step
Yes.
by step. Okay, it is actually comes in a book, brick by brick, I will destroy you. Okay, but then I took it, and it became a whole lot different meaning for me. So whatever you do, you can't just go run and do it. If you are a marathon runner, you can't just start marathon on own. You start with 100 meters, 200 meters, then you keep going. So starting point is very important, and you can go only brick by brick, which is step by step. See, mental health on a whole is in a very, very far lower place when we compare to the other health. So for it to come, we can't just, everyone start talking about mental health, everyone start, saying all those things, it will not go. Step by step you have to do, and the first step is by starting for yourself. By starting practice on yourself is how you can be an example. So first you start with loving yourself, start being compassionate to yourself, start prioritizing your mental health. That is important. So when you give priority to your mental health, next time people are not going to just barge into your room and say, you know what, so and so. No, you know to stand up for yourself. You know this is not you. So they will, next time they will not say stuff like that. And then
Exactly.
they will know, why am I doing like this? See, Avalappai, she has started to do something. Why am I like this? So awareness will come in that way. Another thing is, just like how social media is so, far thing, use it. Use it to advantage. Use it to put your voice out. You need to spread awareness. And what more, opportunity we have than this social media? Spread it. Spread to one another. And the important factor as a youth that we can do is be there for one another. When someone is there, when somebody is going through something, whether they are going through, as I already told, don't look at a person's status and, you yourself perceive that this person is happy or sad. Don't do it. You really care about a person, then go barge right into their world and say, hey, I am there. Keep reminding them that you are there. Hey, are you all right? You don't have to talk with them every day. Once upon a time, even if you talk, you let them know that you are there for them. When they know, okay, I am not alone in this, whether they are sharing it with you or not, at least knowing that, another person is there for me is going to be such an important thing. Hence, when we are small, we have a lot of group friends, but as we grow, the groups keep shedding out, and then we are left with
Yes.
fewer people. In that case, do not worry. Do not worry. You have, even if you filter, you go to the people that matters to you and tell them, knock on their door and say, hey, I am here. Okay, I will be there for you. Take your time. You can take your time. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to say to me, there is nothing for me to fix. See, this is one thing we always think, that we have to fix someone. There is nothing there to fix. It's not machine. Only machines need fixing. You can put oil, grease, and fix. We are humans who work with, emotion. So you don't need to fix another person. You need to be there for them to understand. You need to be there for them to, when they are speaking, you need to listen. We need is a ear to listen. We don't even want them to give us, advice. No, don't go and give advice, please. Just stay there, let them hear them out. So
Yes,
this is what
I,
I will
Great.
as a youth.
I
Okay?
would touch
Go.
upon the same point.
Yeah, go
Yes, I
ahead.
would touch upon the same point, saying first, educate yourself about this aspect, because take care of yourself before taking care of somebody else. Stand up for yourself
Yeah.
before standing up for somebody else. So, keeping this as the base, educate yourself so you know how you are feeling, how you are behaving, and how you are acting. So, you can try and comprehend, try and make sense of what somebody else is feeling, thinking, and acting. And when you need to help them out, definitely listen. A silent listener is definitely better than a person who talks and advises when that person
Yeah.
just wants somebody to silently listen. So educate yourself, and once you think you know how you are feeling and acting and behaving, definitely provide the help that you can to other people. And as youth, it's us who needs to carry this message forward about the importance of mental health, because the people who have been before us have tried and put it out, and now we need to carry it forward. So yes, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for beautifully putting it out. And with that, all my questions are over. And thank you so much for joining us and being here for like it's almost an hour. And yeah, it was really a great, insightful session. And whoever joined us might have got all the answers that they were seeking for. And now we know how much important it is to voice out to mental health. You know, just like having a physical checkup yearly, we should have a mental checkup also, because mental health is as much important as how physical health. So yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to share?
So,
I had a wonderful journey with this organization and with you. So thank you so much for taking notice and inviting me over to this platform. And I'm really happy to have shared my part of my insight, the little insights and the little thoughts that I have regarding this field. I'm really happy to have put it forward to the people who, especially the youth. So thank you
Yeah.
so much again for this opportunity.
Yes.
yeah, and for this entire organization, what you guys are doing is great. I'll tell you, because this might be like look like a small step, but at least this is a step, right? So you guys
Yes.
are taking it to bringing, and you're doing a double job. You are developing us speakers as well as you are developing the listeners as well. So this is a really really great platform. Thank you for having me and Rasmi here. It was a wonderful day, and I really hope that people have listened and they are able to put it into use.
Thank you guys. So happy to have you on board with us. And yeah, happy New Year once again. Bye
Happy New
bye.
Year. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.